Hey tankers, Bonsai Duck here. Today we have ChaseR392. He is in his WZ-120-1FT. He is in Studinsky in a standard battle and a pure tier 8 battle. So, Chinese TD. I have one of these and I enjoy it. It's sporting a 122mm gun with 440 alpha and 248 pen. If you had to throw the heat in, you get a 310 pen. And then if you want to use the HE, you get 530 with a 61 pen. Chaser sent this to me and asked, let's see, over here so I can read it. If there was any thoughts on what he could have done differently. This is going to be a heartbreaking game, so I'm just letting you know that. If there's anything differently he could have done. So while we're watching the video, we'll be taking note of that. And here we go. So Chaser spawned over in the east and has moved down here to the south, getting into the bush here. All right. Normally I don't play the south. I tend to go over and protect where the heavies are at. When I do play it in this tank, I like to sit back on these tracks here, somewhere, and pop up on these tracks where you can get shots at these heavies over here in the factories. Okay, so bad shot there. There's some damage on the Indian Panzer. There's a KV-5. That's always a nice shot. Yep, 410 on that. .461, so a low roll, high roll scenario. Oh, just couldn't get the reload on that T-54. Oh! Bad gunnery on that one. Just missed that one. Is that? Oh, he is sticking out. Oh, nice hit. 465 and a tracking shot. Forced him to burn that repair kit, didn't you? EBR's jumping in on the T-44. Oh, rush shot, but you got a critical hit on it. T-44 is bugging out. And there goes the KB-5. The T-44's made it through the ditch and now is holed up against that building. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on here. So you got a T-32 way up here in the north, right? That's a heck of a tank for that position because you can get hull down and that turret is just tough as nails. It looks like you got a TL-1 over there too and something else in a 432, all against a T-44 and a MUTS. UDES 14.5 over here. Your TL-1 PC is being absolutely useless back here. And your heavies and a T-103 are taking on these heavies. You got some pretty good people over here, but they're not pushing up. So that's going to be part of the problem right there. All right, so waiting for this T-44 to make a mistake, and that's basically what you're doing right now. You're waiting for them to make a mistake. And that's part one. Alright, hopefully he can, and he's down. Alright, so at this point, alright, you've taken care of him, and you're doing the right thing. You're moving forward. Now remember, you have an LHMTV and a UDES over there somewhere. Swinging wide to the left. Your TDs are way up north, at least that we know of. And then that UDES, we don't have any idea where he's at. Something to think about is sometimes you do have shots into that city, from here, if you move up a little bit. you might open yourself up for some damage. There's the TS5. Okay. He showed up. One thing I do know about this tank is you can be a little bit more aggressive with it and kind of charge hard because it does bounce fairly well. It has pretty decent armor. Alright. I see your TL1 has decided to get into the game. So you can kind of charge hard into it. The zoom time is a little painful at times, but you did manage to catch that LHMTV. That was a nice shot. Alright, now move. Move. So, you know, one thing I can tell you is after you take that shot, move to the next position. Alright, because they're pushing your guys off the north. Alright, they've pushed your heavies through. So at this point, what can you do? Well, you've won your flank, per se. Alright, you've won the southern flank. You can see that they're pushed through over here. They've made the north and the city, or the factories. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to turn around and start heading back, and maybe you can get shots of them coming up onto base. All right, so let's see if you keep pushing or if you decide to go back. I don't know what you're waiting for here, to be honest with you. That EBR to light something up. There goes the UDES. Oh! Tracked. And he's down. You got to get back to your base. You've got to go back to base. You've won your flank. Go back to base. That's where the threat's at. The threat is over here now. The threat is over here. You've got to get back to base. Or go cap theirs. One of the two. It's not going to do you any good to get up on this hill, really, honestly. Because they've already pushed through. Their T-32, their IS-3, their TL-1, their P-44, the LT-432. I mean, he's a huge threat because he can light you up and you won't even know where he's at. And the Suma. Where's the Suma? Yeah, you got a clicking monster over here, Mr. Panzer Stanley. But he's right. You need to get back there. Oh, you rushed that shot. You didn't have to. Didn't have to, but you let him know where you were at. Alright, there's a shot into him. There's the Suma. Nice shot into him. TL1 is moving up the ditch. Maybe he can light something up for you. At this point, you can't cut across the middle because you'll be open for their shots. Use your minimap. That Panther's inside the buildings. You can't get to him. Oh, get that gun up there. Oh! Oh, mercy. They're rushing the Bulldog. Now you're in a panic situation, okay? Because you're shooting behind. You're just trying to quickly fire. You can see that the rush is happening. They're just wrapping you guys up. It's you and the TLPC right now. Or the TL1. Your EVA 90 and your Pantera are on the run. All right, and you're shooting wild here. So at this point, your bloom is just huge. They're in the buildings now. There you go. And you get the IS-3, which is good. Now maybe they can deal with the Pantera. Oh. Then you go charging over here, and what's your plan? What's your plan? Oh. And he spotted you. Now that one will cut into you. And Terra's got you from the side. You're getting cross shot. He's got a shot into you. You're not penetration at this point. Go with the heat. All right. So, last mistake was coming down off of this hill and coming out in the open. All right. The only reason you were doing that is because you felt the pressure to do something. All right. Now, you guys are taking care of this problem over here in the P44 Pantera. He's actually working on the T32. Right? This Pantera down here, he's not doing anything. TS4, knowing your armor. Knowing that's the TS5, I'm sorry. Knowing your armor and when to switch to the heat. The heat would have done some damage to that guy, at least frontally, I believe. I would have switched to the heat right at that time when I saw him, facing me. And honestly, in this tank, it gets pretty good penetration and does some fairly decent damage. But I would have stayed up. I would have stayed up here in the bushes. If you were going to be on this side, I would have stayed up here. If anything, you could have used the camo. All right. Let's go to the game plates. You got a second class, bruiser, fighter, fire for effect, and a high caliber, and it was a defeat. You did 109,833 in credits, 1,759 in experience, and a bond. You caused 4,972 in damage. You got 4 kills and gives you a base XP of 679. So you're number 1 in everything but kills. The Pantera was actually, I'm not sure what he killed. 21 shots, 16 hits, 12 pens. You did 4,972 from 300 meters out. So you were obviously doing all your damage from way far away, which is fine. This tank is that, this is a TD. But that the only reason I mention that is it goes to show that you probably shouldn't have tried to cut across that field. You bounced 640. Made some credits, made some experience. So I guess Chaser, my one caveat here, 2 caveats. You on your flank, you can see the pressure on your base, go back to your base. Even if there isn't pressure on your base, don't drive into campers. Help take care of the other flank. Go back and help the other flank. Let their campers be campers. That TS5 was way in the back, and he wasn't brought into the game until he saw everybody else move up. All right? The other thing, don't go out in the open, especially on that map in that open spot right there, because you can just get shot from too many different places. You guys were kind of outmatched over there in the north. Maybe had you stayed in the north and instead of going to the south, you would have been able to help more. It's a 50-50 toss-up, right? I generally always end up going north or towards the factories. And, there's those Zerg platoons that rush the south side and just roll everybody up. It's going to happen. It's part of the game, But those are the 2 things. Back to base and don't get out in the open. Anyway, that is ChaseR392 in his WZ-120-1G FT on Studinsky in a standard battle. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Keep those videos coming. I greatly appreciate it. This is Bonsai Duck out.